Yo, it's good. It's Chosen SC. I'm here with another video to really just speak on gratitude. You know, the importance of gratitude and being grateful for the things that we have within our life and the things that are coming within our life. You know, being grateful for all experiences and just accepting life for what it is and accepting where we are at right now for what it is. You know, we really just got to find the beauty within all areas of our life and not just highlight one good or one bad moment within our life. You know, gratitude is showing love and showing appreciation for every aspect and every experience within your life as it has led you to who you are today. And the first thing I want to talk about is accepting your shadow. You know, when it comes to gratitude, we mostly highlight and put our good events on a pedestal while leaving out our bad events, or what we would call our bad events, or negative experiences that may have caused us pain. You know, and this is us neglecting our shadow. You know, you can't be grateful for your life if you're not accepting the entirety of your life. You're only accepting one half of your life, which is the good, while you're forgetting about the bad, which has caused you to lead you to who you are today. So it's about accepting your shadow and understanding that without these experiences, you wouldn't be a person that you are today. You know, it's beauty in everything, it's love within every experience, but our titles and our limitations that we place on our events within our life create a sort of limited mindset within ourselves where we have to label it into a good or bad label, you know, when it's just an experience. You know, being grateful isn't about just putting your good experiences within life on a pedestal. It's about accepting all experiences because they are all transformational in your whole upcoming of yourself, you know, the embodiment of yourself to lead you to who you are today. So gratitude is very important, and gratitude is the basis of all life. You know, gratitude stems from love, which love is the essence of all life. And just being grateful really shows the reciprocation that you will have for this world. You know, we are being blessed at every moment within our life, but we got to take the time out of our day to bless the world. You know, we really got to get back to the world and just show and tell our appreciation that we have for everything that is going on within our life. You know, even in the moments where we may have been hurt, it was all protection, but it was all guidance and leading us to the right direction. You know, sometimes we have to come out of alignment to really just get back and step into a better version of ourselves, to step into the fully aligned and the fully transformed version of ourselves. So this is why gratitude is important, because you're not just accepting the good. You know, it's not just about accepting the good. It's about appreciating every experience within life. And just because there's a negative connotation with your shadow of your life, with your wounds and your traumas within your life, does not mean that you cannot heal that to develop a much more better perspective on this. You know, a perspective which isn't limited to a good or bad event, a perspective that actually causes you to branch out into infinite perspectives and just see this in a way that it was influencing your entire journey. You know, we got to stop putting negative connotations and good connotations on good and bad events. You know, it's just an experience. You know, it's not necessarily good or bad, but your perspective on this is what you determine if it's good or bad. You know, and we let these events within our life shape our entire day. You know, we got to stay detached from, although we got to be grateful for everything within our life, we have to be detached from all attachments within our life. You know, all the things that are external to us, we have to stay detached and understand that this is not me. You know, what is me is my internal state. You know, what is me is who I am at the base of my core. And just because my reality is changing, just because the things within my life are changing, does not mean that I necessarily have to validate my internal world to change. You know, it's about you just flowing with life and understanding that an experience is an experience. You know, your perspective is your perspective. And also, just because you have that perspective of yourself does not mean that it cannot change. You know, there's always growth within every moment of our life, and we can grow and become a better version of ourselves and a much more aligned version of ourselves with our higher selves by just accepting life for what it is, you know, truly flowing and accepting life for what it is. Gratitude is so much important in our life because we kind of sort of forget, like, all the blessings that we have received within our life because it's just coming instantly and instantly. You know, we tend to put our negative events on a pedestal, highlighting our negative events because it's so much more easier to compel a victim mindset than to actually do the inner work and just accept where you are at. You know, it's about you really just realizing the beauty of your life and understanding that you may have experienced negative events within your life, but it was all leading to you being the person that you are. You know, it's not necessarily negative. You know, we got to stay away from the duality and the duality of good and bad. You know, it doesn't have to always fall into a category. It can just be a perspective. And gratitude is very important because you will realize the ways that you have been blessed by just being able to live, by being able to experience life for what it truly is, by you being able to live life for you and live life for you to live life to the fullest. So you gotta understand that gratitude is a beautiful thing, and you should always move with gratitude because gratitude is the basis of all life. And when you are truly grateful, that's when your manifestations start to roll in. You know, that's when you truly start to go into the being that you truly are. That's when you truly just dive into a deeper perspective of yourself and the infinite expansion of yourself. So just be more grateful for the things that you have within your life. You are a beautiful being and you deserve everything that is coming within your life. But always stay grounded and stabilize your growth and understand that without life you wouldn't be here. You know, without this world you wouldn't be able to express yourself. So just always stay grateful for your life and peace.